What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm gonna be talking about Cars from JoJo Part 2 Cars. Now, Cars, I see a lot of people kind of overlook Cars or not really care about him too much. Cars, every time I hear people talk about JoJo villains, I usually hear people overlook Cars, not really care about him. They're just like, he's kind of there. He's an okay villain. He's not trash. He's okay. Or they think that he's just plain bad. Which, to be fair, I can see why some people think that. That's fair. Because I don't think Cars is a peak villain or anything. I don't think he's not even like one of the best like JoJo villains out there to me. But I still think he is very underrated compared to the other JoJo villains, at least in the JoJo community from what I see. The only time I see Cars get recognition is in terms of scaling. Like, yeah, the dude is like dumb strong, and that's it. That's what people take away from like, oh, Cars, like he's just dumb strong. He's got cheese. You know, I do think Cars, compared to the other villains, for one, I don't think he's as evil, and I think it's funny to compare why people don't like Cars as much. Because he does have memes just like other JoJo villains. That's one thing that gets JoJo villains popular, are the memes. He's got the guitar meme. He's got a lot of goofy memes that, like the laugh right after. I think he does have enough memes. Maybe not as much as Dio, but he does have enough memes to be more popular, I think. I think it's funny that he's not as popular when talking about JoJo villains. I always hear Funny Valentine. I somehow hear Funny Valentine more in... Not too many JoJo fans have read Part 7, so I think it's just like, wow, that's crazy. And Dio, I hear people talk about Dio all the time, and I'm like, he's a cool villain, but like, come on, man, that dude's not like, come on now, like, I like Dio, but like, bruh, I'm not gonna pretend like Dio's like an amazing villain, or like he's peak, like, he's just a really evil bastard. That's really him, just a really evil bastard. He does have a lot of lore to do, and I give him respect, but like, come on, man. Y'all giving Dio a pass, but you can't give Cars a pass. I think Cars is he's a very evil guy as well. I'm not gonna deny that. He's not evil, like, no, he's a very evil man. I know what he did to the other Pillarman race. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Cars is a very evil man. Okay, I know that. Pretty sure in his plan, if he wanted to use the stone mask to basically have rule over everything, and his people didn't want that or whatever, so they tried to stop Cars and AC/DC. And AC/DC and Cars obviously just slaughtered the entire race because of the mask. And also, Cars is very smart, okay? He's got the inventions to prove it. You know, him and AC/DC's relationship was also pretty cool. I like the relationship they have with Wamu as well. Because Wamu was also a baby during that time, I'm pretty sure. Him and Santana, they were both babies. And I think they took those two and kind of raised them, which I think was pretty cool. I don't know why they did that, but they did do that. So Wamu and them all have like a different way of thinking and a different ideology. Santana not so much. Santana just kind of died. He was just kind of there, and now he's dead. But like Wamu, AC/DC, and Cars all have different ideologies, but they all still, funny enough, they all still care about each other a lot. You can hear Cars talking about wanting to avenge AC/DC and Wamu and stuff like that. They do have a care for each other, you know. They're not like they're not like human caring, like, oh, I love this man so much, like, I'm going to, I miss him, I'm gonna cry over him. Like, they did care about each other a lot. I wouldn't say they cared each other as much as Dio and Pucci did, but they did a lot. And I think it's funny that I wouldn't say he's the same type of evil as someone like Dio, but he is still like a bastard. He is still a bastard, and I love his design as well. All the Pillarmen have this goofy, super gay, over-the-top, zesty design. And their theme also slaps. Every time you hear their theme, it's like, oh my god, this shit's about to go down. I would say, like, Cars is not, like, as complex as some of the other villains. I don't think he's that complex. I do think he is a good villain, though, considering his ideologies, the relationships he has with the other Pillarmen, and the way he sees kind of like the chain or pyramid, you would say. How he sees Pillarmen on the top. I'm pretty sure he sees vampires second, then he sees humans. Funny enough, he still cares about certain life, though. Like with the dog, with the puppy or whatever, with those drunk driving humans who were about to kill him. He actually killed those people to save the dog. Or how he was gonna land, there was like a flower in the snow, and he was gonna land on the flower, but he purposely moved out the way so he didn't land on the flower. I think Cars does have a certain degree of respect and care for life. I just don't think he cares about human life. Which is funny because humans don't really care too much about animal life. A lot of us, I know, like, some people, like, you know, obviously we care about animals like dogs and, like, we want humane ways, but most people do not put a human life on the same level as, like, an animal life, you know? Like, oh, I don't put myself on the same level as, like, I don't know, like a fucking rat or something like that. Like, that's just how we see things, and I'm pretty sure that's just the way Cars sees things. He doesn't put human life on the same level as he does, like, comparing himself to Pillarman or on his level. Which I think is funny because we don't do the same thing, and they were like, oh, I think in the show they're like, oh, we don't like Pillarman. But it's like, you're doing the same thing. So it's like, what's going on here? I guess it's different. It is definitely different because we have intellect and we have things like that, which I think is kind of funny that humans take advantage of animals and all those things like that. And the Pillarmen are trying to do the same thing. It's just different because we have intellect and we have the ability to communicate and do all that goofiness. It's just funny that, you know, it's kind of ironic in a way. I think Cars is a very ironic villain, and he also never died. He just kind of lost brain activity, but he never did technically die. He just kind of went into space. I don't know if when Pucci... No, he still would have been alive. Yeah, he still would have been alive. Because Pucci, he did, like, reset the universe, but it only affected the people that he killed or got in the way or whatever, like Jolene and those people. It only affected them. I'm pretty sure Cars would have been either just reincarnated or the same. Which I think would have been funny if, like, when he restarted the universe, Cars, like, came back. That would have been really funny, but it's not about him. It's not about him. Don't make it about him. But I do think Cars is an underrated villain, and he deserves a little bit more respect, I think. But again, I'm not going to put him on the same tier as the other villains, obviously, but he is a really great villain to me. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hope you all enjoyed this one. Peace.